Hi, I'm Jeff Wielden. I'd like to tell you about the project that I started back in February for the Developer Challenge. The prompt was essentially, could using augmented reality or virtual reality solve problems of outreach for the American Jazz Museum? So that was my major focus, but the project had been merged to include the Truman Presidential Museum, and AR Waypoint navigation for the blind was for hospitals. Because there are commonalities. The dream is to have an application that works with every museum in Kansas City that would show users around the museum, visible on their phones, with a virtual walking, talking, spatially tracked, facially animated tour guide, or in the form of a customized human avatar or mascot, which would, while providing information, escort the patrons around the inside the museum, and from the pilot, provide a high quality, spatially aware audio experience to take to take my business to the next level. I need to have one of several specific devices to capture the thousands of measurements of an on-site space as feedstock to allow the creation of accurate spatial tracking for an augmented reality phone application for the American Jazz Museum as the pilot. Then museums in general. As for the hospital navigation, it is all that and more. We've based it on newer technologies, and it wouldn't use the BLE beacons like competitors' implementations, and ours will provide additional information about amenities with a much better interface. In addition, I've been working on a concept of an additional product for using the scan data, creating for the visually impaired and blind, a 3D printed map affordance, to be clear, of building internals to help them understand where things are spatially, with braille labels for them to create mental models of the insides. Thank you for your time. So the response for COVID, the initial part of the hackathon for the case from KCDD involved trying and failing with a RealSense LiDAR camera to capture at least a segment of the Blue Room's a large mural, and I created I don't have the video on hand for the example, but a wall that you could actually walk up, and it has just as though you were standing there. It had been over the years, the paint had chipped and failed, so part of the it could have been reconstructed if I had gotten a complete scan. Anyway, so a digital, the reason I was scanning that and trying to create something, a simulacrum of that, was because they had plans of closing at least part of the museum down for reconstruction during COVID. And the thing that I need from the community is actually being, for the most part, fulfilled by what I should be starting work with Central Missouri University with students to help me bring this project to fruition. Or it actually is split into multiple projects, but anyway, so that's that presentation.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, COVID definitely had an impact on a lot of different, venues that were used to accommodating people. So and so it's really exciting. But and as I said, even beyond, where you can start doing virtualization of things, it can really help expand the audience that can see some really great things in some of the different museums we have. Are there any questions for Jeff?
Hi, I have a question. Is Jeff, I'm wondering, is this similar to what we've seen with the Van Gogh fully immersive? Is that kind of like what you're doing, where you're almost included in the exhibit, or is this going from exhibit to exhibit with a detailed explanation and tour?
Okay, so imagine you pull out your phone and it would know where it is in the museum. So that's there was a virtual, but for the primary part of it, it's the augmented reality. So you pull out your phone, it knows where it uses your camera to know where you are, and you can actually see on the phone the mascot or whatever the figure is, and it'll actually, like, if you pulled up you could pull up a list of all of the exhibits and click a button and it'll take you there. It's like, oh, well, and then it'll show you on the floor and direct you in that direction. Additionally, if you have been to a location, it will know that you've been there because it would have, captured one of the area targets.
Mhm.
So then you could actually see if you'd been to a museum, but you didn't have enough time to complete the, you can see everything. You can come back and see, it's like, oh, on my list, I didn't actually see this thing, and take you right to it. The other component is like, after a scan has been done with one of these devices, anything could be augmented. It's like very conversational and contextual for what they would want. Hadn't had very much input from their side, because the project has really just been me. I didn't really emphasize that. Like, it's just been me.
And I'll say there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot that could go on. Like, as I said, and Dr. Cooper, I don't think I've obviously seen all the ads for the immersive. My understanding of the Van Gogh is it's kind of full large screen visual productions. I know too, when you move in this room, there's a lot of different ones. The World War I Museum just did a fully immersive. So they did a virtual reality, put on the headsets and basically put you in a bunker to do that. Jeff has been working more on an augmented reality where you are in the scene, but with the glasses, you can enhance what you're actually looking at and part of it. And that's why the wayfinding came in, because that enhancement can guide you through different places of the museum and different things with it. But yeah, but that realm, there's a wide range. Just like people started using the term XR, that whole extended reality, because virtual reality, augmented reality. Jeff, not to jump in on you. So
yeah, well, it's like a catch-all term. So I started in VR, and it's like, well, this is the other thing, and then like after I got trounced in the competition, I was like, well, I could do that thing that you were trying to do with the. There was one thing with the one of the presentations earlier. The guy with the plastic sheathing, that is not too. That's a more advanced version of that thing that I showed you in that meeting after the hackathon. Remember the thing from Japan?
Oh yes. So
it was like that's it. Yeah. Except for they used like corrugated plastic to, it wasn't like encased, but it's like this project just kept on splitting and then combining it, and it's like it was just me, and it's like, okay,
right. As all entrepreneurs know, there's lots of pivots and lots of changes, and the vision that you start out with is not always the vision that you end up with. Hey, Jeff, thank you so much. We are at the end of time.